Welcome back. Now, Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, known in short as DRC, have enjoyed a strong partnership built on shared interests and cooperation across political, economic, and security sectors. Joining us in studio is Namibia's ambassador to the DRC, Ambassador Simeon Uulenga, who will provide further insight into the importance of the Namibia DRC relationship as well as a pivotal role Dr. Nujoma has played in shaping these diplomatic and political ties. Ambassador, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, DRC and Namibia's relationship dates prior to the independence of Namibia. How has these two countries built and strengthened their diplomatic relationship since Namibia's independence in 1990? Are there any key milestones that you could highlight in terms of these bilateral ties?
Well, relation between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Namibia, as you clearly indicated, started before Namibia's independence. Of course, the then Zaire is one of the African countries that recognized SWAPO as the representative of the Namibian people, and they supported SWAPO and the Namibian people, of course, through that liberation movement, diplomatically, politically. And then upon Namibia's independence in 1990, Zaire recognized Namibia's independence. And SWAPO, which of course emerged victorious in the elections. Relations grew, that the two countries now have established diplomatic relations. Diplomatic relations which then resulted in signing a framework agreement which outlined areas of cooperations. It is this agreement through which now the two countries are able to cooperate in various sectors. As you know, when the DRC became a member of SADC, they approached SADC, particularly then President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Laurent Kabila, asked assistance when he had a problem, when he went at war with his eastern neighbors, mainly Uganda and Rwanda. Namibia was one of the African, SADC countries that intervened together with Angola and Zimbabwe. The relation really grew, and this started with security cooperation, and then economic relation also jumped in. We started, of course, trading with the DRC. We started looking at further how to develop the Southern African Development Community through transport corridors. And these are the main areas where we are cooperating until now, trade and transport.
Trade and transport. Are there any primary areas of political cooperation currently between Namibia and the DRC, or ongoing joint initiatives besides trade and transport that you mentioned that could maybe perhaps highlight the strength of this relationship?
Yes, politically, Namibia and the DRC really have had very strong ties. We have an agreement known as the Diplomatic and Political Consultation Agreement, whereby the two countries have opened up for each other to consult, either bilaterally at capitals, but also bilaterally on the sideline of international events. This cooperation shows that we are open to each other and we can reach each other anytime when it becomes necessary. Politically also, you note that Namibia and the DRC have exchanged high-level delegations. For example, when President Tshisekedi took power, Namibia was one of the first countries to be visited by him. That show the level of good relations that we have. Also, at the inauguration of President Tshisekedi, Namibia was highly represented. Our Vice President, now the President of the Republic, was one of those who attended his inauguration, and he was accompanied by the Chairman of the National Council, the Minister in the Presidency, and also then Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. We have very good relation with the DRC.
We understand Namibia opened a consulate general in Lubumbashi city in the Democratic Republic of Congo. That is to strengthen, bilateral relations between the two countries, to simplify consular affairs and to facilitate cross-border trade, which you had mentioned earlier. I mean, are you able to update us on the progress of this consular that it has made in terms of handling these consular affairs, and how Namibia has benefited in terms of having this consular office in this city?
Yes, Namibia opened the consulate since November 2023. We have been there. It is a very important office that has been due long time ago. You know, the DRC is a big country. Sometimes you might say even it's a landlocked country, but they have access to the Atlantic as well. But due to its size, you need to be represented at places like Lubumbashi in the southern DRC. Now, as you indicated, the purpose of the consulate is to facilitate services to both Namibians and Congolese, consular services and trade services to people who would like to do business with Namibia. Southern DRC, particularly the Katanga area, or let me say the former Katanga area, because there are now different provinces composing that region. The people are more connected to Southern Africa, and Namibia included. They have been having this problem of having to travel to Kinshasa for visa. And this is really a problem, costly, and Kinshasa is very far from Lubumbashi. Now that they have the consulate there, they have the opportunity to get this service right in Lubumbashi. They don't have anymore to travel to Kinshasa or travel to Lusaka for these services. At the same time, as you know, Namibians do visit also the DRC for business. And now they have the office there. If they have faces any difficulties, they have their own representative, the consulate, to attend to those problems. For example, we did facilitate through the consulate the repatriation of a Namibian who was stuck there. And these are the things we are there to do, to help our people to interact, to do business with the DRC, with the confidence that they have their government represented there.
Okay. Let's talk about in terms of cultural democracy. Are there any interactions of mutual respect or fostering understanding and respect through exchange of art, culture, and education before our two nations?
Yes. We have an agreement on education. And, you know, many Congolese have benefited for education in Namibia. They are many Congolese who are studying here in Namibia, and when they go back to their country, for me, they constitute the bridges that connect the two countries. They know the culture of Namibia, they know the culture of the DRC, and they are really part of the communication of Namibia's image there, which is it's really a good thing, which I personally rely on these people as I conduct diplomatic relation between Namibia and the DRC. The education is mainly the main sector that is very active between our two countries. And as we talk, the University of Namibia has taken a decision to promote Namibia and itself in the DRC. They have contracted somebody to expose Congolese people to the Namibian education, and I'm sure this will bear positive results.
Given the regional security dynamics in Central Africa, let's talk about what role Namibia plays in supporting peace and stability in DRC. You mentioned, obviously, Namibia has participated in the war when DRC was at war with its neighbors, mainly Rwanda and Uganda, joined by Zimbabwe and Angola. Now, I know the Minister of Defense has indicated that Namibia is not sending troops to the DRC, but we know that DRC has been plagued with civil unrest parts of the country for years now. What would be Namibia's role into ensuring that, there's some sort of peace in the DRC if they will not be sending troops?
Yes, the insecurity in the DRC is being taken care of at the United Nations Security Council level, whereby the UN has a mission there for many years now. That is one level where the problem is being attended to. The United Nations has peacekeepers in the DRC. And then SADC also have decided to send a SADC mission there. Namibia, as part of SADC, continues to play a role in having this problem solved. Yes, Namibia is not sending troops, but as part of SADC, we have also a role to play, and we are doing that. If countries that have not sent troops into the DRC, they finance this mission in the DRC. And Namibia is part of those that have opted at least to finance SADC as it is carry on this mission in the DRC. The DRC conflict is now at the level that particularly SADC thinks that it should be solved through diplomatic ways, peaceful means. We are supporting, as Namibia, we are supporting the mediation that is being carried out by the President of the Republic of Angola. And also now there is also the Eastern African peace process, which is called the Nairobi process, whereas the Rwanda process that is being moved by the President of the Republic of Angola aims at achieving peace between the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Rwanda. The other process, which is the Nairobi process, aims at bringing Congolese together, having to agree on how to solve this problem in their country. Meaning all those many rebel groups will have to come on a table and talk to their country's leadership, the government, and agree on a peace process on how to solve all these people of this problem of rebels, the problem of it is mainly people fighting for what against their own people. Some groups are described as terrorist groups. some are seen as groups that exist there for economic purposes. Some are foreign groups, you know. There are foreign groups in the DRC that shouldn't be there. Meaning they export their own national problems to the DRC. And this must leave. Foreigners must leave the DRC. Congolese must come together and agree on solving this problem.
Okay. Now, Ambassador, while that we know that this ongoing conflict in DRC has seen significant human rights violation, and suggesting that more than 300 Christians have been killed since Christmas 2024. One particularly horrific incident involved beheading of 70 Christians inside a village church. Is there any indication of intervention from SADC? I know you talked about the fact that there is an Eastern African process led. We saw the meeting that was co-chaired by President of Kenya, William Ruto. We saw the process that you're talking about that is led by the President of Angola. But when do we expect, possibly anticipate tangible results, you know, that are likely to see solutions? We know the South African Defense Force, which formed part of the SADC initiative to obviously resolve this peace crisis. We saw a couple of soldiers them being killed and accusations being leveled against Rwanda that they were responsible for the killing of the South Africans. But the interventions that you're talking about, but when are we likely to see yielding results that I think we can say that SADC is moving towards a process of, you know, having peace in the DRC, because I think it will be very much welcomed by the whole region once there is peace.
As the situation unfolds currently, we are seeing some positive development. The DRC have managed to have an effective diplomatic offensive, whereby now at least much of the world understands their problem, and the actions are being taken. The United Nations Security Council have just passed a resolution that calls for those involved in the DRC, particularly Rwanda, to withdraw its forces from the DRC. And not only the Security Council of the United Nations, but even individual countries have spoken, and they have called upon Rwanda to take action to ensure that they do no longer support one of the rebel groups in the DRC. SADC is part of that. I don't want to say we are complementary, but we are part of that, playing a major role. If we are given the support that we need, particularly from the international community, we will solve this problem. But as I said, there are positive developments that are coming on the side of the diplomatic efforts, but they have an impact on the ground as well. As you see, for the past 2 weeks, rebels have not made any advance in their offensive against the government. We are monitoring this situation, and we are hoping that the parties will go back to the negotiating table so that they can reach a peaceful resolution. Criminalities, definitely, those who are committing criminals, like killing people on religious reason, they have to be brought to justice, either locally or internationally. Yes. Okay.
Now, as we begin to wrap up our conversation, we know that the founding father was laid to rest on Saturday and is widely regarded as a pivotal figure in Namibia's liberation struggle. How would you describe his legacy and influence in the Democratic Republic of Congo, considering that when we went to war in the DRC, I don't remember that time, the Minister of Defense was Eric Mtina, and it was under the presidency of the founding father, particularly perhaps his role during, the period of Namibia's fight for independence, and also the diplomatic relationships that was built between our two nations, that was based on fostering solidarity among African countries, whether pre- and post-independence?
Yes, the founding father has contributed to relations between the Democratic Republic of Congo. And he's very well known in the country as a freedom fighter, a liberator, and a Pan-Africanist. The Congolese people, even when he passed on, some of them they say, if he was still in government, maybe what we are facing here wouldn't be there. You see, they really see him as a Pan-Africanist, a man who is there for the self-determination, who has been there for the self-determination of African people. Even when he and other leaders from SADC sent troops in the DRC, it was on this Pan-Africanism, solidarity among African people, and particularly in SADC. He's very well respected in the DRC. He's seen as one of those who share the same value as their first Prime Minister, Patrice Lumumba. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that maybe you want to share before we let you go this morning? I know we laid the founding president to rest. You know, you talked about so much about regional stability, talked about the relationship between our two countries. What else would you like to leave with us before we let you go this morning?
No, thank you. Now, as we are now reflecting on the passing of our founding president, and looking at what values he stood for, I would like to indicate that as Namibians, we should continue our commitment to maintaining our country politically and economically stable, but also to work hard like our founding father did, so that we can attain our economic independence and his developmental vision of our country. The founding father wanted Namibia to be economically developed, whereby we live a standard of life equal to other people in developed countries. This is the goal he has assigned us, and he has foresighted this. The best tribute to him, to his legacy, is for us to work hard towards that vision. I thank you.
Well, Ambassador Simeon Uulenga, thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, that was Ambassador Simeon Uulenga, Namibia's ambassador to the Democratic Republic of Congo, talking to us about the relationship, the bilateral relationship between our two countries, also the role of SADC in trying to maintain peace in the DRC, the role of the founding president on the relations between the two diplomatic relations between our two countries, and so much more, in saying the befitting tribute that we can do to the founding president is to ensure that we improve the livelihood of the Namibian people, as that is what the founding father would have wanted us to do. Stay tuned. We stay with more conversations right here on Good Morning Namibia.